name is Corey Stinson. I'm a private citizen of St. Charles. I would like to take an opportunity to thank you all for participating in this committee. I think it's an important job that you have to look into what has occurred with this report and what is going on in these fusion centers. A lot of the things that I might have been interested in saying have been addressed either by members on the committee with their questions or in other testimony here, so I'm going to skip those things. I will address a question that was asked to somebody else by Representative Schulwer. He asked Rob Hillman, I believe, are you afraid of government? I am sorry to say that I am a little afraid of government, to answer that question that you asked. Even before this MIAC report came out, I'll give you an example. I think probably most people on the committee may be familiar with the case earlier this year, the Connecticut mayor who was caught up in a drug sting operation. I believe it was the state of Connecticut. And no knock warrant was executed on his property by the county police. They broke down his door. They shot the family pet with an automatic rifle. The mayor was forced to stand in his underwear in front of his mother-in-law. This was all in error. Now, in this situation, the county officers involved in that error can be held accountable for that mistake. And the people of that community have an opportunity to review that and hold those people accountable. As law enforcement operations become more and more nationalized, which I fully believe is the purpose of these fusion centers, and the testimony given by the Illinois officer, I think, demonstrated the extreme sophistication that they are developing. I am very deeply concerned that the authority of local law enforcement is being impugned by this process and will continue to be impugned by this process. Then, if we have a situation where these errors in law enforcement continue to occur, who do we have redress to then? Somebody in the federal government, somebody in the Department of Homeland Security who we don't know, and it's a lot easier for me to come speak to you today than it is to speak to somebody in the Department of Homeland Security in Washington. It may be of interest to the committee to take a look at the Cato Institute's website. They have for a number of years now been tracking what they refer to as paramilitary policing activity, and it has a lot to do with narcotics and the drug war. There have been some abuses for a number of years, before the fusion centers, before 9/11, before this MIAC report was released. Those are concerns of citizens who value their liberties, value their constitutional rights. I've been aware of these things for a while. I became much more concerned when the MIAC report was released because I felt that this represented a further step away from what we would like to see, which is when we have problems, our constitutional rights being violated, that they need to be addressable to local members of law enforcement, local government, not the federal government. I would like to see the law enforcement powers in the state of Missouri begin with organizations in the state of Missouri and not to be handled in the top-down fashion from the federal government. And to specifically address, and I'll finish with this, my request to this committee as to what you were addressing, I would like to see that you are able to ensure in some manner that the state of Missouri is always the ultimate authority for law enforcement and policing operations in the state of Missouri, to the extent that you can get some useful information from federal agencies, fine, but state employees, state law enforcement agencies should be responsible for and accountable to the law enforcement activities that occur here. And I'll just conclude with that. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions for this witness? Okay. Thank you very much for your